Welcome, it's Mandee of Mandee Miller Fitness, and today we're going to do a short Vinyasa flow workout. Super fun, 25 minutes and we're done. It's going to be rigorous, so we're going to be moving quite a bit. Feel free to sit out things that don't feel like they're serving you, or go ahead and just make amendments as needed based on how you're feeling today. So I'm just using a mat. I'm obviously not wearing shoes, and we're going to start standing at the top of our space. Before we do that, let's go ahead and hit play together on our playlist, and we will. Bring your feet about hip width apart and spread your toes out. Lift them all up and place them with intention on your mat. Palms face forward, mountain pose, soft knees. Inhale the arms up. Hook the thumbs. Exhale, cactus the elbows back. Good, we're gonna do that again. Mountain pose, inhale, reach the arms up, hook the thumbs. And cactus. 3 times, let's go one more. Inhale the arms up. Hook the thumbs. Dropping into a stable chair, inhale the arms up, push the knees apart, pull the navel back. Exhale, spill forward, fingertips of the right come to the floor, bend the right knee, take an open twist on the left, and wring out the wrist. Feel free to nod the head a little bit. We'll switch our sides. Fingertips come down to the floor, and I open twist on the opposite side, leaning the torso back, wringing out the wrist. And again, just noticing the neck, the shoulders, placing both fingertips on the floor, bend your knees pretty healthily, and then ragdoll, roll your way back up to that standing mountain pose. Excellent. We're starting up into a lunge position. Keep the right leg forward, slide the left leg back into a nice high lunge. We're going to take a twist over to that right side. Good. Inhale the arms back up and overhead. Exhale into your very first warrior 2. Strong bend in the front knee. Draw the shoulders back and down. Beautiful. Exhale, pinwheel the hands down to frame the front foot. Step back to plank pose, pause here. Optional, lower the knees, and then we'll lower down all the way to the belly. Untuck the toes, slide the hands in alignment with the chest. Inhale to a cobra. And exhale, lower back down to your belly. One more time. Roll the shoulders, inhale to cobra, squeezing into the abdominal wall. Exhale back down. This time we're gonna optionally roll the shoulders back, pull the belly button in, charge up the legs, and lift off the thighs for up dog. And then exhale back to your very first downward facing dog and pedal out your feet. Just kind of notice how things are feeling in the backs of the legs. Feel free to nod the head and shift the weight, but spread the fingers out, really grip the mat with all 10 of your fingers. Look forward to the top of your mat. We're just going to take a nice gentle walk back to that stable position with my feet hip width apart. Inhale to a flat back, and exhale, fold. Let the head rest, nod up and down and side to side. We'll ragdoll, roll our way back up to that standing mountain pose. Good, inhale to your stable chair. And exhale, rise back up. Second side, I'm gonna keep this leg forward, lunge back high, and then we'll take that twist over towards the front thigh on the left. Inhale, back to your crescent lunge. Exhale, peel open. You'll notice I'm kind of moving that front foot so that it stays in alignment with the back midsole. Draw the shoulders back, tuck the tailbone ever so slightly, sink in. Exhale, pinwheel the hands down to frame the front foot and step your way back to your plank pose, pause. Optional here, I could shift my weight forward, bend the elbows, roll over the toes into my very first up dog. Or I could land on my belly and do the cobra, move my way through into the downward facing dog. Excellent. Okay, moving forward from here, look forward to the top of your mat, bend your knees, and take a walk, or you could hop to the top. This time, big toes touch. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Nod the head a bit, and then rise your way to stand from the hips. Excellent. Hook the thumbs. We're going to take a side lean to one. We're going to go both sides, so if you went to the other side, it's okay. Inhale, back through the center. Keep that hook of the thumbs. Lean to the opposite side. Little side moon moment. Exhale, back through the center. Cactus the elbows and find the back bend. Inhale, arms back down to the sides. Big toes touch. This time, traditional chair. Squeeze the legs together. From chair pose, I'm going to fold all the way forward. Excellent. I'm going to step my left foot back into space. Runner's lunge. So I'm squaring the toes in the front foot. I'm going to keep my left hand on the floor and reach open on the right. Now I'm going to stay in this right little twist and spin onto the left foot, outer edge, and open up the hip. Maybe I take that arm and I wrap it around my back. Lean your head back. Come back to the runner's lunge, fingertips on the floor, and just find a nice standing L. Transitioning into a warrior three, bring your hands in front of your heart. Find the stability. Then gently step to the top of the mat. Reignite your chair pose. Squeeze the legs together. Draw the shoulders back, sink the hips down low. Nice. Exhale, fold forward, hands come to the mat, step the other foot back, lunge position. Adjust as needed, keep the hand of the right down this time. Open twist on the left, ring out the wrist. Okay, same rules apply. I spin onto the edges of the feet, I find that little bit of a hip opener. Maybe I shift my hips around a little bit. Doesn't have to be exactly the same on side to side. Come back to this runner's lunge, fingertips on the floor, ignite the belly. I'm going to find that nice standing L position. Then I'm going to ignite the leg and find my single leg stability in warrior three with my hands in prayer. From warrior three, step to the top of your mat. Inhale, rise back to your chair pose. We're going to move through a flow and then we're going to go into a new flow. So place the hands, bend your knees, chaturanga. You could skip any of these. Exhale back to down dog. Stay in your downward facing dog for a moment. Just kind of notice how things are feeling. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and a loud sigh out of the mouth. Plug the shoulders in, pull the navel in, look forward, bend your knees again, and maybe I hop to the top, big toes touch. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold all the way. Inhale, rise your way up, stand tall. Exhale, slide your hands in front of the heart. Good. Inhale, sweep up. Look up, exhale, fold forward, plant the hands, chaturanga, and we'll meet in down dog for our next flow. So from downward facing dog, take the right leg, lift it up, square the right hip. Notice if you want to wing it out, try to keep it even, try to keep it level, arms strong. Bring that right knee into your nose, up and back three-legged, right knee crosses, up and back three-legged. We step the right foot through, lower the knee down on the left. Inhale, rise into your low lunge, hug your inner thigh together, and then I'm going to grab for the elbows and lean my chest back. If this feels weird on the lower back, feel free to tip forward ever so slightly. Nice. So from our low lunge, I'm going to reframe that front foot, lift off the back knee, spin onto the back heel, and move my way back to my very first skandasana. Elbow comes inside the thigh, fingertips come down, right arm reaches open. Good, we're just calling back to that rotational we did a moment ago. Flare the toes in the front, ring out the top wrist. Excellent, team. We're going to go ahead and crawl it forward to reframe the foot. Find your standing split. Then step to the top of your mat, wide-legged, low yogi squat, bringing the palms to touch in front of the chest. I personally like to wring the wrists out. It's up to you. Then plant the hands. Optional, I jump back through my chaturanga, or I could just step back to my down dog. Second side, I take that left leg, lift it and square the hip. Notice if you're winging it out. I am a very hypermobile person, so it's harder for me to think about that. I'm really trying to aim the big toe towards the floor. I'm feeling a stretch through that right calf. Then I'm going to bring the left knee all the way into the nose. Up and back. cross, up and back. Step it through top of your mat, low lunge. Reach the arms up. Notice in your low lunge, if you're really dumping into the low back, grab for the elbows, lean back ever so slightly, hug your inner thighs together. Let them help you balance. Nice. Breathe in and let it out. Frame the foot with the hands. I'm going to find that standing split. And then I'm going to step back because I almost forgot that we've got that Skandasana. See how sometimes it just worked out that way. Bring the fingertips of the right to the floor. Lift the left arm up. So good news, you just get 2 standing splits on this side. Winning. Crawl it forward. I just got excited about it, and then we'll find that standing split. From standing split, I step my foot wide at the edge of the mat, and I'm going to reignite that Malasana or low yogi squat. Lift your torso. Tuck your chin back. Excellent. We're going to rise into star pose at the top of the mat space. Optional here, I lift off those heels. Power pose, squeeze into the seat. Draw the shoulders back. Excellent. Set the heels down. Keep the arms overhead. Heel toe the feet together and come back into your chair. Palms come to touch. Draw the shoulder blades back. Tuck the tailbone. Right tricep comes across to the left thigh. Lean back. We're going to take a toe tap back to the back wall. Nice. I'm going to stay in my twist. I'm going to crawl that elbow up just a little bit higher along the thigh. Maybe I open up the arms. Stay in the lunge. Rise into the lunge twist. Nice. See if you can align your upper body. And then I spin open, and I'm going to return to my warrior 2 from flow 1. This time, reverse that warrior. And then pinwheel the hands down to frame the front foot. 3-point chaturanga. You could always skip that. Exhale back to down dog. Cat-cow might be a great replacement should you want to try that out. Take a deep breath in. Look forward, bend your knees. Take that gentle hop or walk to the top. Big toes touch. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Drop into your legs. Reach the arms up. Second side, palms come to touch. Tricep comes across the thigh on the second side. Lean back in space. Hands right in front of the heart center. Lean your chest back. Stay in your twist. See if you can crawl that elbow up a little bit higher, and maybe I step back into the lunge. Lean back again. Ignite the inner thighs. Excellent. We're going to stay in the twist and rise. And then I peel all the way open into my warrior 2. Good. Pull the navel in. Notice that low back is really swaying. Excellent. Pinwheel down to frame the foot with the hands. 3-point chaturanga or skip it. You'll notice there's a lot of these. So if you ever need to amend, amend. Excellent. We're going to meet in the middle of the mat. So fingers and toes meet right in the center. Playing with balance here. Soften the knees and roll your way up to stand. Once you're standing, I want you to find balance on your right foot. Bring your hands to your heart. Find something that's not moving. Stay focused. Once I've got the balance, I'm going to pick up my left foot. My left knee comes into my chest. Excellent. And then I'm going to bring my right hand to the outer edge of my left foot. And my left arm reaches back. I find that twist. Breathe in. Single leg stability, a lot of strength here. Gently set that foot down. Return to Tadasana. Let's do the second side. So we're just kind of getting this preview of the single leg balance. Bring your hands to your heart. Shift your weight to the opposite side. Find your steady focal point. Please take your time. Bring your knee up. Good. Lean back just a little bit. Then I'm going to take that opposite hand, cross, grab the outer edge, kick it forward, and reach back. Open up the chest cavity. Can we get taller through the torso? Breathe into it and let it go. Inhale, slow return. Set your foot down. Arms at sides, Tadasana. Good. Inhale the arms up. On the exhale, fold forward. So we met in the middle with our hands and our feet. We're going to do a plank challenge now. So I want my hands and my feet to come as far away from the middle of the mat as I can get them. Also known as an X plank. I'm really hugging my inner thighs, even though they're not touching. I'm just feeling this ignition of my core. The further out my hands and my feet are from my navel, the more I'm having to stabilize through the core group. We're holding for 3 more rounds of breath. Big inhale. Any plank will do. Big exhale. 2 more. Big inhale. And exhale. Good news. On the last one, I want you to take the biggest inhale possible. And then on the exhale, let the knees lower. Let the head, neck, and shoulders come back down to the earth. Stack your hands underneath your forehead and just lift your legs up, bend your knees, and windshield wiper from right to left. Just a little cooling pose here before we move into some floor work. Feel free to wiggle your toes around. Drop the shoulders from the ears, of course. And then we'll neutralize the hips and legs. And we'll start to send the arms right in alignment with the chest cavity. Pull the belly button in. Tuck the tail down and find a cobra. So cobra pose, lots of back bending on the belly. We're going to be focusing more on back bending in a different realm here in just a moment. So shift your way back, point your toes, and send it back to a traditional extended child's pose. And then we're going to ripple our way up. Bring yourself closer to the center of the mat. You're on your knees, and we're going to rise into a high kneeling position. So we did a little side bending a little bit earlier. We're going to continue on the side bend journey. We're going to continue on the rotational journey. But we're also going to incorporate a little more extension through the trunk. So showing this to you from the side, I think it's helpful to see. We're going to take the hands to the lower back and tuck the toes underneath us. Camel pose prep. I'm going to open up the chest cavity, kind of tuck my chin down towards my chest, send the hips forward, like I'm trying to get my pelvis towards the wall, an imaginary wall, of course. And I'm going to blossom the chest open. It's almost like doing your cobra pose facing the side wall. And then I just want us to slowly set the hips down, stretch the soles of the feet, take your hands to your thighs, and just shift that blood towards the knees. Okay, so we're going to build on that. We're going to add a little bit of a rotational with that camel pose activity. So hands come back to the lower back. And if that doesn't sound like fun to you, please do what feels good to you. And then I rise my way up. So I'm tucking my pelvis towards the front. And then I'm going to find a little bit of a back bend. I'm going to release my hands from my hips. I'm going to start to rotate open, maybe tap my heel, come back, rotate open, maybe tap the heel, and come back. And then just take a moment, sit back onto the heels, stretch the feet again. Okay, so that was a rotational back bend. Now we're going to play with a little side bend action. So take your hands to your low back. This is the last one. I drive my hips to the front. If your knees are starting to feel any type of way, feel free to fold your mat up. I know for me that's usually needed, but I'm feeling okay today. So I'm driving my hips forward. Now I'm going to show this to you from the side or from the front. I think it's easier to see this one. I'm going to lean back ever so slightly, let my head drop back. Release the arms. Maybe I grab for the heels and I find a traditional camel pose. Then I rise my way up. I bring my fingertips towards the earth on the left and reach with the right arm. So my fingertips, my middle finger is touching the floor, and that's it. Big side bend. Good. Stay in that little bit of a back bend and just transfer the weight over to the opposite side. Big opener here. Really good flow for like waking up in the morning. Wring out the wrist. Return through the center. Let's give our backs a little break. Untuck the toes, sink back onto the heels of the feet. Bring the knees close together. Hero pose. I'm snuggling my hips right between my heels. Sitting up nice and tall, take your hands to your lap for just a moment. Draw the shoulders back and down. Pull the navel in, fill out the lumbar spine, bring your palms to touch in front of your heart center. Good, you could stay here with the arms. I'm gonna play with a reverse prayer because it feels nice on the shoulder. So I'm going to start to push the walls away from me and then reach behind me, showing this to you from the back so you can see what this looks like. I've got my heels separate of my hips. My arms have reached back. My fingertips touch. And then I turn the thumbs out and pinkies in, and I find that reverse prayer right along the middle of my spine. Take another 2 breaths, in through the nose and out through the nose. One more time, inhale and exhale. Release the bind, and we're gonna meet back on our hands and our knees. We'll take a cat-cow, inhale to lift, and exhale to round. Good, inhale to lift. Prepping for our inversion, exhale to round. Come down to the forearms. Make sure your elbows are about shoulder width apart. Spread your hands out. Your knees are pretty close to your elbows, and we're gonna lift up into a dolphin. So we're gonna spend 3 to 5 breaths in this inversion. Notice my head is free. I'm not doing a forearm stand. If I wanted to, I could, but I'm just playing with getting my heart a little bit lower than my legs. Maybe I'm gonna play with a leg lift, and maybe, ooh, there goes my elbow, and then maybe I play with the other leg. So I'm feeling the same stretching sensation through the backs of the legs like I was in down dog. I've got one more round of breath, and let it out. Set your knees down, slide your hands back behind you, grab for the soles of the feet, let the head come close to the knees. Little rabbit pose here. Nice. Slowly roll your way up and swing the legs forward. We're moving into a couple of seated poses, and then it's time. So the first thing I'm gonna do is extend the right leg straight, bring the left foot, cross it over the right thigh. Hug the knee in tight, flex the foot, wrap your right arm around and lift your chest. Then take your fingers of the left behind you to find that deeper twist. I feel this through my glute a lot. Keep flexing and igniting the leg that's straight. Inhale through the center, uncross the leg. I'm gonna take that foot behind me. So I don't have my glute on the floor, it's just that's what's up with me, but I am gonna take the forward fold, grabbing for the bottom of the foot on the right. Inhale, rise up, let's switch our sides. So bringing this leg all the way forward, flexing through it. Bring the knee of the right into the chest. And then I cross that ankle over the thigh. So I just take a moment, sit super tall, fingertips of the right come behind the sacrum, and I find that twist. I'm hugging my knee across my chest. So I'm really trying to emphasize this outer hip stretch. It's almost like a replacement for pigeon. I'm using the strength of my arms to get that piriformis stretch. Keep flexing. Exhale, return through the center, uncross, and we're gonna send it into that rotational of the hip. This can be really rough for some folks, so if this doesn't feel good, I would take a Janu Shirshasana as an amendment. And then I'm just gonna take that fold forward, wrapping my hands around the sole of my foot. Breathe into it. Let it all out. Inhale, return, something symmetrical before we hit our final pose, which will be our resting pose. Showing this to you at a little bit of an angle. I'm gonna set my feet flat on the floor, fingertips firm on the floor, lift up into a reverse table. So I'm looking at my hips here, and if this feels okay, I can play with extending my legs straight, reverse plank. Breathe in. And breathe out, release the hips. Once the hips are released, slowly lower your way down to your back. Once you're on your back, what I like to do before I settle into that last resting pose is just kind of get the wiggles out. So notice if you need to just wiggle it out and then just settle in. If you feel like you need some grounding, go ahead and place your palms facing the floor. Let's all take a deep breath in. And let it all out. Close the lips. Let the breath return to its natural state. Let your practice soak in for the next few moments. Lick your lips and swallow. Take a deep breath in, point the toes, arch the spine, reach overhead. Maybe wrap the arms and feel that clasp of the hands. Open the eyes and roll to a side that you choose and gently press yourself up to a comfortable seat. We'll close our practice together, bringing the palms to touch in front of the heart center. Bow your chin to your chest. Take a moment of reflection, reverence, and gratitude for making time and space for physical practice today. Let's breathe in together and let it all out. Thank you all so much. I hope you had a wonderful, short express flow. I know I did. I feel super energized for the day. Let me know what you'd like to see happen on the platform. Let me know what you thought about that workout, and peace.